Hello, everybody. It's Monday afternoon. It's my unusual afternoon edition of Monday Simulcast, broadcasted on 3 different networks at the same time: Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitter Live. All 3 of them simultaneously, live broadcast as we speak. And if I can add, I gotta close this up. Remember, I'm a production of me, myself, and I. Let's see. Yeah, let's get Jimmy in here. There we go. Yeah, we can see Jimmy. And how come I don't see? There we go. We got a little. Someone did a little. Knock 'em down 'em here on my camera. There we go. There we go. A lot of moving parts here. I got a MacBook Pro here, which is a magnificent device. I covered the keyboard. It's an elevated keyboard so that this camera is like square at me, even though I rarely go square at me because it could be, it can be a little scary. So I tend to, look at things that are more exciting. Like that's more exciting. And we'll add this view. And then we'll add this view. There we go. And then we'll switch to cameras. We'll swap cameras. There we go. Look at that. I took a picture of the moon last night. There it is. In all its glory. And you can see, it's taken with an iPhone. Give me a break. It's not exactly the Wilsonian, planetarium. No. iPhone 16 Pro Max. Super duper. 1 terabyte of storage. Cellular 4161100.com. Be there or be square. I got my Rode sound device right here, which I mix the music with the voice. And then I'm introducing, you can see over here, that's my elapsed time. We've been on the air for 4 minutes and 48 seconds. Big deal, right? I know. There we go. I'm running on, in case you're interested, of course you may not be interested, I'll show you on this one. I'm going to go to settings, and I'm going to go to software update. Let's just do that. It said it's up to date. More details. All right. You notice it says iPad OS 26. So that's the, it used to be like iPad OS 11. They went to 26 because it's like the 26th major update of their software over the last 14 years or so. We came into iPhone 4, okay, or 4S, 4. Remember in the early days it was 4, and then the next year it was a 4S or a super duper, and then I went to iPhone 5. Anyway, iPhone 4 was the first time they had a 4-inch diagonal screen, touchscreen, and when you touched something, it actually worked. iPhone 1. I sat there with Peter McAllister and his wife, Jennifer McAllister, when she got the first iPhone 1.0, whatever, where Steve Jobs stood there and held the phone and said it's a, let's see, it was the musical player, it was the internet, access device, and it's also a phone. 3 things. But, the touchscreen, I don't know what it was, something with my fingers or whatever. I mean, this is a long time ago. That's the iPhone 4, which is 2012, in case you didn't remember. And I remembered. How about that? Yeah. At 103 years old, I still remember things. Anyway. So, iPhone 4, when you touched up there and then you touched down there, it wouldn't, it was like the mapping wasn't exactly right. All right, so I'm going to hit about here and we can see, we can't see. I got to go full screen on this. Producers, please keep up. There we go. So now we can see, this is my iPad. You see at the very top, 13-inch. The iPad that I had here died. The battery, after about 4 years, the lithium-ion batteries, lithium polymer batteries, the chemistry wears out. I don't know what else to say. It's not like the lithium batteries I have in cars, which last, I think Tesla guarantees the battery for 8 years. Well, the of the iPad that I had here, that's 4 years old, that doesn't exist anymore because it went dead. And I sent the iPad back to Assurian, who was my insurance company on my technology. And they sent me this brand new 13-incher because, the 4-year-old model was out of production. So the only way they could give me a 1 terabyte cellular iPad, cellular chip set, and with the 1 terabyte storage, they had to give me a brand new iPad. Oh, so sad. No, it's a copay of $200. But what the hell? I got a $2,000 iPad for $200, so to speak. I mean, that's what insurance is all about. I've got several others, an iPad over here, which is anyway. So let me just go on here. So you can see the software, iPad version, iPad OS version. I'll touch that, and there you can see iPad OS 26, and it is the actual version number is 23A5308G. You don't have to make note of that. That number keeps going up. This 23A. It might be 24B, but as they get, this is August 10. So in almost exactly 1 month, September, oh my God, it's going to be September already. Oh, jeez. That's, what that is? That's the magic of, that we're going to have. The new iPhone announced, released. Excuse me, I'm trying to get over a common cold. My God, it's not very common. So if my voice sounds a little scratchy, and every once in a while the sound goes dead while I sneeze, because I don't want to sneeze and everyone Marilyn's birthday was yesterday, and we spent lunch. We had lunch, Sunday afternoon lunch, and right over my head, Casamaya Grill. Here's their refrigerator magnet card I happened to take as I walked out of there. Casamaya. If people that are familiar with the local neighborhood here, if you know the Cove Shopping Center, there is a place called the Cove, which is a nice outdoor party atmosphere. You're right on the intercoastal, and you can watch the boats and have a glass of wine or sit there and have ice water, whatever. But you can see Casamaya on the window. Yeah, there's a brass plaque. Anyway, they redone the inside of that place, and it is spectacular. They moved the bar to the back, so the bar is like interconnected in a sense with the kitchen, although all the slamming and banging is like behind some kind of a partition thing. So they moved the bar from the left-hand wall when you walk in, and they moved it to the back. They got a nice granite top, white top on it. And then they have, all seating, between there and the front door. And it's really very nice. It's rectangular seating. And you got high top tables. You got booths. And, whoops. So they're sitting at the table. And I'm having a Coca-Cola. She shook the camera. Yep, that's a little bit better one. A little fuzzy one. That's outside the place, inside with the wall in the background. I'm not real fond of that picture because you're looking at a blank wall. But anyway, it's got the four of us in there. Brennan and Daniel. And Jimmy and Marilyn. And this is the dish that I ordered, which is a skirt steak with yellow rice and peas and spinach. I kind of augmented it was going to be, the way it's on the menu is this skirt steak, like a marinated skirt steak, served on a bed of sauteed spinach. So I asked them, I said, sauteed spinach and yellow rice, and put the meat right on top of that. Yeah, which they did. And then I got a nice big container of the yellow rice, a nice big quart of yellow rice to go, an extra takeout. And the dessert flan, I got some flan as a dessert, got 2 orders of that to go. And that flan is so, I had that last night at midnight. It was so good. Whew. I got to tell Marilyn I ate mine all up. And yesterday, we were watching golf yesterday afternoon when we got back from Casamaya. So this is at 3:51 p.m. And Scheffler and Spun were tied for first at minus 14. And this is, let's see here. This is how the match ended up. Look at this. You have two people tied at minus 15 and 2 people tied at minus 16. And I was trying to explain to Daniel and Marilyn, and just think about it. One putt costs Spun $1.5 million, because if he made the putt, he gets $3.6 million. He misses the putt, he gets $2.1 million. That's $1.440 million. Now you talk about your knees knocking to make a putt. Forget the fact that there's 10 million people watching on television, and there's a crowd of 20,000 people, you know, breathing and farting and whatever. You know, and you got 20,000 people around you, and it's the 18th hole. And they have their cocktails, you know, and they're shaking the ice in the container, you know. All these noises. Yeah, somehow or other, these professional people have to just tune it out and make the putt. But, you know, that's their job. You know, that's every week they play. You know, they practice a day and then they play 4 hard days. And you got to have 4 good rounds. You look at my favorite player is Scotty Scheffler, American player. So we can look at his 4 rounds, 67, 66, 65, 67. I mean, for a total number of strokes of 265 strokes. But Rose, British fellow, he got 264 instead of 265. And guess what? He's $2.5 million over Scheffler. One putt, one missed shot, you know? So he's, you know, Justin Rose, he got 64, 66, 67, 67. Now Scheffler, 67, 66, 65, 67. There's only 1 stroke difference. So, I guess it's Tommy Fleetwood, another British fellow. He was like in the lead for 3 of the days, you know, like it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yeah. And yeah, he slipped back 1 stroke. He got $1,000,001 instead of $3,000,006. Everyone, and he's never won a PGA golfing event. He's gotten close. You know, he's like tied for third place here with Scotty Scheffler. They both, the way they figure out the prize money, like for Scheffler and Fleetwood, since they're third and since they tied for 3rd place, right? Because Rose won, that makes Spawn number 2, and then Scheffler and Fleetwood tied for 3rd. So you take the 3rd place and the 4th place, add them together and divide by 2. That's how you get 1,160,000 each. And then tied, and then minus 11. Look at that, 4 strokes back. So you had 4 players within 1 stroke of each other. And then you, Young, he's in, let's see, first, second, third, fourth. He had 5th place all by himself, which is a mere 800,000 on the money. And then you got 3 people tied for 6th, 7th, and 8th. So you add the 6th place prize, 7th place prize, and 8th place prize, add them all together and divide by 3. And that's how you get $670,333. If you're wondering how they come up with these cockamamie numbers. And I did a print screen down to tied for 17th. I figured that's enough. I got some really good people. It's amazing how difficult it is. You know, I mean, you got, you know, the best players of the world are all chasing each other. He who scores the lowest wins. And Justin Rose, 45-year-old chap. You know, Scheffler's like, what, 28? You know, Justin Rose has played more professional golf than Scheffler is. Can you imagine? Justin Rose started swinging his golf club really good at 17 years old, and Scheffler wasn't born yet. That's what people like Justin Rose have to, you know, when you get into 45, there's not too many times you're going to be, you know, in the winner's circle, you know, you might say. So, although it's not all about age, but it is about age, because these young kids, I mean, they're unbelievable. The shots they make and the putts they drop. And, I was looking at Novak down here, tied for 6th. I mean, some of the shots he was making, it's like throwing a dart on the green. Bam! 200 yards away, and they put the ball like 4 feet from the hole. Not all the time, and then you got to sink the putts. I remember someone telling me, it could have been somebody on TV. You drive for the show. In other words, Scotty Scheffler is. I did I don't know if I did a print screen on that. Let's see if I did. This is the tee times yesterday. And, well, I'll tell you what, I can do this. Let's see if I can. ESPN. Come on, baby. There we go. ESPN. This is. Yeah, I'll do that. This is the app. I have the app on my phone, so I should be able to get it on the iPad at no additional charge. I don't think there is a charge, actually. So I'm going to open it. I'm going to allow, so it knows where I am. I'm going to allow while using the app. I don't want notifications. I don't want to be disturbed with notifications. Yes, fine. Bluetooth. Yeah, we'll allow you. Okay. Come on, let's get. We'll sign up later. I don't. Let's see. So we want. PGA Golf Tour. We're going to skip the favorite league. See, it's all oriented towards baseball. Come on, I don't want baseball. I want golf. Can we go home? Yeah, that's home. And we're going to... The iPad things are in slightly different places. Hey, since the golf match is over, it's like got me stuck on. Now we're into football. Where's the golf? More. Yeah, here we go. Maybe I pushed the wrong button. Here's golf. Let's do golf. Scotty Scheffler, FedEx playoffs. Yeah. He's standing there with the trophy. There's Justin Rose. Yeah, good for him. That was kind of fun watching that. So let's see. Let's go leaderboard. Do we have a leaderboard? Or I'm trying to do this. Be patient with me. Golf. The FedEx playoffs. All right. This isn't working out the way I want. I was trying to show you some statistics that ESPN had amassed on the golf. But, it's today instead of yesterday, and they've rearranged everything for football and baseball because, it's Monday. It's not Sunday. So, golf starts up again, on Thursday. And there'll be see, they played in, I think, Memphis. Yeah, I think they played in Memphis, Tennessee yesterday and for those 4 days. And then there's the next golf tournament, which oh gosh, PGA GOLF 2025. Let's just do that for keywords, and let's see what it comes up with. PGA recapping, no. Here's the St. Jude leaderboard. Maybe I'll get lucky with this. Come on, baby. There we go. There we go. Leaderboard. So there's the winner. Minus 16. And then here's the... So you can see there's Justin Rose, JJ Spun, minus 16, minus 16. So they had a playoff. It was almost a 4-way playoff. That would have been a lot of fun. And then see Scotty, he was minus 3 for the day. So he was, and Spun, he was minus 5 for the day, which was probably the best round. No, when Cameron Young, he had 64. That's 600 par for the day. That's probably, I'm looking through the list, that's probably the best round of the day, 64. It was sunny, it was hot, probably 90 out there in the sun, so they were cooking out there. And then, as Justin Rose said, the last hour and a half was pretty tough, including they played the 18th hole 4 times. They played the 18th hole for the first time, finishing up their round, and then they played the 18th hole, and both players parred it. Then they went back and did the 18th hole again, and both players birdied it. And then they went back and did the 18th hole for the third time. And Justin Rose birdied it, and Spun parred it. So the sudden death, Justin wins. So they didn't tie for first. They play off for first. But Scotty and Tommy Fleetwood, you see that minus 2? That means he dropped down 2 positions from Saturday. He was number 1 after 3 rounds of golf. So he was in first place, dropped down 2, which made him tied for third. Scotty was third place at the end of Saturday, and was third place at the end of Sunday. And Spawn moved up 2, and Justin moved up 1. So that was, and then you had, the rest of these players, which were, Cameron Young and Ashai Bhatia, Ricky Fowler, minus 10, minus 10, minus 9, minus 9. See, and these guys are minus 15, minus 16, so it's like a tier, 4 or 5 strokes better than these guys. No, that's why these guys got the big bucks. The winner, if the purse is $20 million, we do the math. Clear the thing here. 3.6 divided by 20 million. It's like 18%. Yeah. So the leader, it's not a rule. It's, each tournament has their own guidelines, but generally the winner gets 18% of the total purse. So let's go back to my good morning, everybody. This is, as you can see, the very top. At 6:11 a.m., the sun was just, it wasn't up at the horizon yet, but you could see the sky way out there, about 20 miles. The curvature of the earth, you know, when you're looking out over the ocean, and that line right there is the ocean. Above that line is the sky. So we can see a little piece of the ocean. There you can see a little brighter at 6:16 a.m. You can see the ocean right there, looking over the trees. And yeah. This condo right here is on the west side of A1A. So then you got that condo, A1A, and then you got the beach, and then you got the ocean. Well, when you're sitting on the ocean in a boat, you can see another boat, assuming it's not cloudy and everything, 15 miles away. Further than 15 miles away, then that boat is then over the curvature of the earth. So the curvature of the earth is hiding that boat. So if a boat was 20 miles away, you wouldn't actually see the boat on the horizon. It would look just like this. It would just look like a line. You wouldn't be able to see a boat. I remember that from my water safety instructor licensing. Excuse me while I cough and sneeze. Turn off the microphone. You can hear a little background noise. I hope you like my Epidemic Sound instrumental, my background music. We're streaming. How about that? 33 minutes and 39 seconds. As you can see with the elapsed time. I got my pad here, which is in total view right there. You see me shaking it. There's like a little delay because the signal is moving around. Yes, this is a little bit, I have pushed the limits of this software program. It's August 11, by the way. It's Monday, in case you don't know what the hell day of the week it is. Yes, sir. It's 1:36. You can see the clock right there. You see that clock right there? That is the actual time to the second. My network meter up here says it's, you know, bingo, 1:37. Yeah. It's amazing how everything is like in sync. I was watching I don't know what the rest of you think about. This is not investment advice. I am not an investment advisor. But, let's get rid of this. STOCKS. I have an app called Stocks. I'm going to load it for you. There it is. Top stories. And the Dow Jones is not going anywhere. It's 44,005 points. Can you imagine? It's down 0.39, which is like nothing. Nothing burger. I can touch this 0.37 and it's down 162, which is nothing. It's less than a half a point. You know, they'll say, oh, dramatically down. It's not dramatically down. It's down a third of a point. It's up a third. It's down a third. It's, you know, it's not doing anything. Trump says crime in D.C. is out of control. And here's what the data says. Well, let's go there and see what the data says. Okay. Woo. Look at that. Right just before Trump took office. Look at this. District of Columbia recorded the highest level of robberies in the history of robberies. Oh, my God. That's lots of robberies. Now it's down to like 0.02, but, that's because Trump took office, and he's going to crack down on these guys. And, the problem is with these liberal district attorneys and, the liberal juries and the liberal judges, they arrest them. They bring the criminals in the front door. They arrest them. They book them. They're in a temporary thing. They get in front of the judge. They release them out the back door. So it inconveniences the bad guy, by about 4 hours. Meanwhile, some innocent lady, teenager, whatever, get beat the hell out of them, and they're in a hospital for 2 weeks. And these guys are back out on the street, and they're still doing tests on the person that just got beat up. They're still in the hospital, yet the bad guys are out. Jeanine Pirro, you probably remember her. She is a tough. She has been confirmed as the U.S. Attorney. Trump appointed her as the U.S. Attorney for the Washington, D.C. area. And she was a DA in New York City. And she is one tough cookie. Well, they ain't getting out the back door with this one. She's going to put them. She's going to put them in the hooskow, and they're not going to be inconvenienced 4 hours. They're going to be biting their toenails for a few weeks or a few months until they get properly adjudicated. And if you beat the hell out of some little old lady, you're going to be in jail for a while with this U.S. attorney. But they still have it's not the police. The police are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Police are leaving, Washington area, New York area. They're retiring in droves, coming down to DeSantis has got a deal. If you're a licensed card-carrying police person, graduate from, the police academies, recognized, accredited police academy, you get a $5,000 bonus for signing up for the police department in Florida. Move to Florida, and you get a $5,000 signing bonus once you're hired by a police agency of your choice, assuming they need a police person. Everybody needs police. In a civilized society, Florida is a civilized society run by, AKA, known as a red state. Yeah. Red states, blue states, you've heard all that. Well, the red states are run by, the conservatives, and the blue states are run by liberals. And the liberals are, they're not law and order people generally. They take the side with the people that are committing the crimes. Go figure, right? Complete flip-flop of what it used to be. So now you got Trump. He's for the everyday guy. Now he's a multi-billionaire. And the regular people voted him in like crazy. You got like 80 million votes. That's the most votes any presidential candidate has ever had in the history of the United States of America. And he's worth, 10 or $15 billion, which is a good thing. It's not like, he didn't have to do this. He spent 4 years of his life being president, the 45th president. Then we had Bite Me Biden as president for 4 years. And then Trump came back and won again for his second 4-year term. And there are all kinds of things you can do. But, once you already have all the money, you can't, how much money can you spend? He's got more money than he could possibly spend. So he's got money stashed for all his children and grandchildren and their children. He's made a generation, a multiple generation wealth. Building big buildings in Manhattan, 50, 60, 80-story buildings in the financial capital of the world. Now it's a disgusting slum with needles and people urinating in the streets. It's terrible. Some of those Trump buildings are still there, but, the city it's not clean, it's not safe. Manhattan is terrible. People are moving out of Manhattan like crazy. And they're moving to Florida, Tennessee, and Texas. California is losing people like crazy to Texas, Tennessee, and Florida. States that have no income tax, if you're wondering. California and New York have the largest state income tax. You're not only paying federal income tax, the state gets you for another 13% of your wage. So by the time you pay taxes in New York, or if you're a New York resident or a California resident, you're paying half of your salary, half of your income is taxes. You get to keep the other half. Isn't that nice? But unfortunately, the liberals are wasting it, and the conservatives are, and the governors of conservative states like Florida, Tennessee, and Texas, no state income tax in any of those three states. And people from California and New York are leaving the high tax states for the no tax states, generally. I think Florida's getting 1,000 a day. 1,000 families every single day are moving into Florida. 1,000. That's 360,000 a year moving somewhere in Florida. About a third to the West Coast, about a third to the East Coast, Southeast Coast, and a third everywhere else in Florida. And I don't know what the numbers are for Tennessee and California, but Tennessee and Texas. But they're growing. Anyway, I got on the stocks app, circling back to that. Circling back, have you heard that before? Tracking back, because I want to see how Tesla stock is doing. And today it's up 24. And if I touch the 24, that's 4%. So, that's pretty nice when it's up 4% for a day. The market is, we should compare it to NASDAQ. Tesla is traded on NASDAQ, see, NASDAQ, that's NASDAQ. And we're going to go one day. So it started off at a certain level, it's 4%. If we look at the 1 week view, I'm going to change this to dollars now from percent. So I just touch the percent thing and it switches to dollar. And then the third one, if I touch it, it's a $1 trillion stock. And Apple should be 3 trillion, you see. 3.3 trillion, that's the market cap, which means you take the total number of shares outstanding and multiply it by the share price of $227, and that is how you get the market cap. That's for every stock. Tesla has their own, so $342 a share times the total number of shares outstanding gives you 1.1 trillion. If you're wondering how they come up with that thing called market cap. All right, so we're going to look at 1 week. I'm going to touch that. I'm going to change this to dollars instead of percent. So it's up $13 so far for the day. And it's almost 2 o'clock, so you got 2 more hours of trading. So I'm going to press, you got 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. Look how that's jumped. from the 5th to the 6th to the 8th to the 11th. So it's up $36.74 for the week, which is around 10%. $36 on 340, that's like up 11% for the week. Now that's quite an interest rate, 11% per week. That's multiply that by 52 if you could do that. It doesn't happen though. So let's look at the 1 month view. All right, uppy downy. It's up about 9% for the month. Where is it? About 8% for 3 months. It's up $14 for 6 months. Year to date, it is down $36. Let's go. That's year to date. Let's see a whole year. So for a whole year, it's up $145 a share. That's not bad. So it started off at $200 a share, and it's up to $340. That's total calendar year, not calendar year, year to year, August to August. Now let's do 2 year. It's up $99 2 years, because it had this big, peak in the middle here. That's 5 years. It was $100 a share, and now it's $340. You're up to, you're tripled your money if you're in there. So right here in 2023. So that 2 year number should be pretty good. I guess it's just a matter of, there we go. So, April 2024. Okay, it was 147, and now it's 340. 143. You made $200, $200 a share. And that's April, May, June, July, August. So that's 15 months ago. If you bought it 15 months ago, you made $200 a share. This is a stock that you want to own. In my humble opinion, there's so many different ways this company. Number one, if you've ever you can go on to and do an online tour. Let's just do it here. I'm on the internet. Let's go online tour, Tesla factory. Isn't it great? Doing research on the internet. Online tour, Tesla factory. Let's check for typos, because I'm like all, fingers and toes here. Online tour, Tesla factory. Let's hit the first one. And they have 10. Tesla does not offer a general, regularly scheduled online tour, but they have them because no information available on this page. Tour Tesla factory. Elon Musk has walked around the factory with a guy. I didn't like. Here we go. Flying through Giga Berlin. No, these factories are like all the same. They've got the Tesla factory in Berlin, Germany. They've got a Tesla factory in Austin, Texas. They have a Tesla factory, the original Tesla factory, in Fremont, California. Right? So you got Texas, Fremont, Giga Berlin, Germany, and Tesla, China. Yep. So we're going to go to YouTube. I'm going to click this right here. See it in the middle of your screen. It's 2 minutes and 58 seconds. Let's just take a peek at that. And here whoa. Oh, we don't get seasick with this one. Excuse me. So we're going to see if we get in the front door. These Tesla cars are self-driving. So now this is, they got raw materials come in one door and they stamp it. And then the press goes over there, and then it goes to there, and then it cuts off all the extra pieces, and you'll see the pieces slide out, and they get recycled. And then that piece goes over to this thing, and that fits on there, and then they weld that to that. And this is where they got these big furnaces. They're melting a special aluminum alloy, a special mix. And here's the whole front end or the back end of the car. That piece right there. It replaces like 170 pieces and welds. And that's the side piece. You put the side pieces on the top piece. And you see all the robotics? It is 94% robotic. You don't see anybody. It's all, the plant can operate a car. So, you can see people like quality controlling, and they rub and they, make sure. Here's the paint center. They go down and it puts all these special spritzers and different color paints. So now you see people, and they're having meetings. They're going over stuff. But the factory is running, and it just has some side meetings. There's like several thousand people in each factory. But instead of 20,000 people, there's like 2,000. Because you got all this robotics that are putting things together within 1 millimeter tolerance. They've turned up the tolerance meter to very narrow standards. All these cars. And getting ready to be inspected before they go out the back door. A Tesla Model Y comes out of the factory door every 40 seconds. Can you believe it? Every 40 seconds. That's like, and if you want to buy a Tesla, you know what you do? You go to the Tesla app. Where is it? I guess this one right here. I'm going to touch this. You see this logo, right? Can you see it? You can't see it. Well, that's no fun. Let's do full screen on. This is an iPad. I'm shaking it, as you can tell. And here's the Tesla app right there, the big T. That's a cross-section of a Tesla motor, if you're wondering. That is a cross-section of the rotor of a Tesla motor. Here we go. I'm going to touch that. Bingo. And now this is how you buy a car. There are no dealerships with Tesla. So you want a car? Let's order one. I'm gonna go right up to the point where you push the order button, but I'm not gonna order it because we already have one. I don't want another one. But I'll just show you federal tax ending September 30. You only got about 6 weeks left of that $7,500 tax credit, and that's a real credit. Anyway, Model Y. Push that button. All right. And here you have your, whoops, see up here it says $7,500 tax credit. Yeah. You get 3.4% APR, limited time. So you have the cash price. Let's do cash price. Just so we can show, and then we'll come back up at the end and show you the lease. So here you can see the interior. Let's get rid of this. There we go, so we can full screen. So that's what the inside of the car looks like. We have one. Looks just like that. Notice how small the steering wheel is, because it's all, like drive-by-wire. It's all electronic. There's no buttons. You got a couple of buttons on the steering wheel. That's it. There are no buttons. There's no dashboard except for this. Looks like an iPad on the side. It's the touch screen. That's what the car looks like on the outside. Let's color it red. There we go. You can pick your paint. We have diamond black. You've got stealth gray, which is they make a lot of those. I don't like them. So here's the red. Cost you $2,000 for red. Now you have the long range rear wheel only. In other words, both rear wheels are connected to a motor. There is no transmission. Remember, it's a 400 horsepower, 297 horsepower, something like that, rear motor, electric motor. And when you step on the accelerator pedal, that guy jumps. And you can see you get 357 miles worth of EPA range with that configuration. If I touch the second button, you see, you're going to get the second button, and we got the top button. And the second button, 141,490 or 37,000. So there's looks like a $4,000 premium if you want all-wheel drive. It's got two motors, one in the front, one in the back. So you got power on both front wheels and power on, and you lose about 30 miles of range. So it's got 327. This is what we have. This is the configuration we got. But we got black, which costs $1,500. And we got white interior. That costs another $1,000. There you go. See the $1,000. Black interior. Let me tell you, the white interior is unbelievable. It doesn't get dirty. So if you think, I don't want white because it cleans up. If you spill a glass of wine on it, it wipes right up. It's not leather. It's some kind of synthetic material. So they're not killing a bunch of animals to leather coat your seats. But we did get the white, vegan. Let's call it a vegan interior. Yes, it is some kind of material, but not. They didn't slaughter animals, so you could sit on leather. We did not pay $8,000 for full self-driving because it's not 100% yet. It's 99%. But anyway, I'm leasing the car, although I'm setting this up for a cash deal just for demonstration here. If you're going to buy and keep the car, so do you pay $8,000 now for the software? Because in about 4 months, by the end of this year, it's going to be perfect. It's almost perfect. It's better than a human driver today, the full self-driving. It is really quite spectacular. We went up to Titusville 6 weeks ago, and I put in the address of where we were going, staying at a friend's house overnight to watch a blast off from Titusville across from Pad 39A, and the mission was canceled. There was supposed to be 2 blast offs. One Friday night, one Saturday night. They were both canceled. But we had, we drove up there and then drove back, and if we go up again, we'll probably do a space tour of the Kennedy Space Center, just for kick of it and buy some, logo materials. All right, so do you want accessory tray and all-wheel and interior liners? That's $240, you want that. You want the center console thingy. You don't need the cooler, and you don't need the roof rack. If you have a garage, this $420 charger thing that you just hang on your wall in your garage, you want that. You need an electrician, and you need a 80 amp circuit. And then the electrician just wires up this thing and screws it on the wall. So it costs you $1,000 for the electrician. And the $420, they put that in the trunk of the car. So when you take it home, the electrician will. So it's going to cost you $945 today, because you're going to get the. They're going to ship you the all-wheel liner, the all-weather interior liners. Blah, blah, blah. They're going to ship you the center console, comes in a box, and they're going to ship you the home charger. And it costs you $250 non-refundable order fee. All right? Total purchase price, $53,130. Now remember, you're going to get a $7,500 tax credit. And that's a real tax credit. It's not off your income, it's off your taxes. So that's money that every other taxpayer essentially is, taking the burden so you can buy an electric car. That's why Trump did away with it, because, why the hell should my next door neighbor help me buy an electric car? So if I uncheck that one, you see, then it's the price is the price. There's no. So then you got to come up with $53,130, but you're going to pay $945 up front, and about a week, a couple of weeks before they start manufacturing the car. Remember, it comes off the factory line every 45 seconds. But people, they're ordering the cars all over the country and getting shipped all over the country. And I agree to place the order, so you can touch that little button there and you can see this is what the document looks like. This is actually a document that you sign. You put your electronic signature on the bottom of this sucker. And it got special exclusions for various states. It's like a 6-pager. And it says, I promise to pay. Remember, this is not a lease deal. So now let's come back up here to begin with, since we saw the price. Excuse me. Let's go back to the top. We're going to go to the very top. And we're going to check leasing. See, cash, leasing, finance. Finance is like Tesla Bank. It's Tesla Finance, something or other. And cash is cash to the factory. And lease is, leasing, financing provided by Tesla Leasing. And let's see. We're going to do get down to the bottom here. Thank you for your patience. All right, order fee, edit leasing. See, it's $488 a month, but you got to put $3,000 down. You know what we're going to put down? We're going to put bupkis down. We're going to have 0 down. Tab, 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 tab. And then I'm going to X this out. It'll save that number. Okay, so with it's a zero money down on the lease. In other words, you're not buying, see, zero down, 36-month lease. But remember, we're putting $945 down because you got the $250 order fee, which you don't get back, by the way, in case you back out of the deal. So, you know, you're going to buy a car, so this costs you $250 to order the car. And they're going to charge you for these 3-hour items, which are going to ship you essentially in about 10 days. The car takes, all right, let's go there. When do you get your car? Well, according to this thing, if we just do a little expando here, and okay, so the lease fee is $541. If you want all-wheel drive, it's $541. If you just want the rear-wheel drive, it's $492. So it's about $50 a month if you want the all-wheel drive, which adds a motor, and you get power on the front wheels and the back wheels at the same time, giving you a little more traction, like you need it. I mean, it's like a rocket. Believe me, 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds. And believe me, that is slam your head back than a headrest. And this is like 5, so what is it? It's 0.6 seconds difference if you get the front wheel drive instead of just rear. Let's just do the rear wheel drive because you don't need an all wheel drive. I mean, really, you're going to be out in the Rocky Mountains? I don't think so. You're driving on a regular road. You don't need 4-wheel drive. All right. So your range is 357. I'll explain about range in a minute. We're white interior, $1,000. No self-driving. No, we're not paying for it up front. I mean, why would you pay $8,000 for a lease? The lease is over, you give back the car, and then your self-driving goes away. And I paid, $8,000 for it? No. All right, so here we go. 4 to 6 week delivery available. So, and it's 4 weeks. 4 to 6 is 4. Trust me. Yeah. They're fast. They come off the assembly line every 45 seconds. So they know how to turn up the volume when they need to get them out of there. And there's, you have what? You got black, white, red. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 6 paint colors, right? And you've got 2 interior colors. And then you got the regular all-season tires, or you got these skinny rims, which you hit a bump, you hit a pothole, they go flat. You're not on a speedway. Get the 19-inch rims. That's the diameter of the rim. The circumference of the rubber is, whatever it is, the diameter from the top of the rubber to the bottom of the rubber. So if you have a bigger rim, you have a less rubber. And that rubber, which is filled with air, is part of your shock absorbing, the comfort of the ride. So unless you're strictly into drag racing, you don't want the skinny tires. You want the fattest tire they'll give you. They're coming out with a Model 2 at the end of the year. And there you can get 18-inch rims, which means you're going to have like 5 or 6 inches of rubber pumped up with air to give you a much smoother ride. You get better mileage out of that kind of a tire instead of these low-profile, high-speed tires. Forget that. Who the hell's going to go? You're going to go 125 miles an hour? Not legally. There's no roads in the United States that goes over 100. So you're paying all this money for for high mileage rated tires, and you don't need them because you're not going to go over 100 miles an hour. Yeah, you're going to drive it to work. You drive to the grocery store. Come on. You're lucky if you get to 50. Go across the state, so fine. Then you go 70 miles an hour. You're not going to go 100 miles an hour. Okay, so order agreement. Let's look at the lease agreement. We touch that little lease agreement thing. Motor vehicle order agreement. No, there's an order agreement. We already saw that. I'm going to see the one that details. So hit the back button. Well, I guess you know. Let's touch this one. Or did I just do that one? Yeah, I was looking for a configuration. Where is that? I got another vehicle configuration. Final pricing. There's a connectivity. Costs you $10 a month. You connect. Each car has its own cell system in the car. Not for you to make phone calls in, but for it to get information about where you are. GPS. Here's the connectivity thing. I should be able to push that button. There it is. So it's $10 a month or $99 a year. You pick. And you have a Tesla app, which I have on my phone, which you get. You download it. And it communicates with the car. I can show you that right here. Tesla app. Now this is the app that's on the phone. But it's let's see, it's in the garage. It tells you where it is. There's the car right there. Bingo! You see that red triangular-looking thing? That's our Tesla. So you can tell where the car is, wherever it is. If someone steals the car, you can say, police, it's going down I-95. It's going south. It's up to Sheridan Street. Hurry up. They can trap the car. It's unbelievable. Tesla can turn off the car remotely if it gets stolen. Yeah. You don't have... Teslas don't get stolen because you can call the police department and say, hey, they stole my car. I'll send you a print screen. This is where it is. It's on I-95, it's heading south. It's going 78 miles an hour. So it tells you, here's the internal temperature of the car. It says interior temperature is 92, exterior is 91. You see that on-off button? I can press on and see the animation for the air conditioning. Yeah. It'll start to cool the entire... We're going to turn that off. No sense in wasting electricity. Remember, it's not gas, it's electric. So it just turns on the electric compressor and the electric fans. And there's no gas motor that has to operate. You can precondition the car. I have it preconditioned for Marilyn. So at 7:30 in the morning, it automatically chills the car before she gets in it. So when she takes the elevator down to the second level in our structured parking garage, the car will be pre-chilled and ready to go at 7:30 in the morning. It actually comes on at about 7:15. Takes about 10 minutes to get it chilled to 71 degrees. And same thing in the evening. It's pre-chilled to 71 degrees. So at 5 p.m., when they lock up the bank, she can get in a nice cool car instead of getting in a car that's 140 degrees in the sweltering sun all day. Yeah. It actually comes on about 4:45. Begins to chill the car down. By the time she gets in the car, The seating is cool. The steering wheel is nice and cool. Everything is cool. That's the magic of having a Tesla, because you take the car, you know what it's like. You take your car out for lunch. So you drive and, so you park the car, and then you walk in the front door. The car locks itself as soon as you leave you get about 15 feet away from the car, and it knows that the phone is 15 feet away from the car because you got your phone in your pocket, or your purse if you're a lady, or in your hand. So when you leave the car, it automatically locks the car. Your phone is your key. There is no key. You got a credit card looking thing when you get the car. All right, let's go to let's put Jimmy back on here a little bit. There we go. I'm on the right side. So when you get the car, there's the Tesla logo inside there. You can see a black kind of a card inside this silicone kind of a little card case I got. And on this side, I have my passport card for my ID. So if I valet the car, since you don't have a key, the card is the key. And this is it's almost like a credit card, Tesla black card, which is what they give you when you get the car. And then you pair your phone to the car, but this is what you get. So you see how thin it's the same size as a credit card. It says Tesla on it. There's no SIM card or anything on it. And you just tap it on the column between the front window and the rear window on the passenger side or the driver's side, and that it opens up the car. Because you have to open up the car before you can pair your phone, right? And then you sit inside there, and a helpful, delightful young person introduces you to all the marvels of owning your first Tesla, or your second one, or whatever. This is our second one, but I still had them. What the heck? They're sitting there, and I said, hey, can you pair my phone to the car so we can... So, I mean, they can do it in like 7 seconds. It'd take me 10 minutes. And I said, well, here's Marilyn's phone. Why don't you marry her car to the phone? So she paired Marilyn's iPhone to the car, paired my phone to the car, because now your phone is your key. And this card just stays in your wallet for emergencies in case your phone ran out of battery, or you forgot your phone and left it in the office on purpose or accidentally. So now you don't have to walk all the way back out of the parking lot. You can just use your card to open up the car instead of your phone. Okay, you can order service. You can see, here's charge stats. I'll just show you this one while we're here. So over the last 31 days, we used 479 kilowatts. 479 kilowatts for driving the car for the month. And if it was a gasoline engine instead of electric, it would have cost us $212. And let's do a little math here. So 479 kilowatts times 0.013 is the Florida price per kilowatt. Oh, God. $480 times... Oh, I did that wrong. 0.13. It's 13 cents a kilowatt, not 1.3 cents. There we go, $61. What did the app have it at? $66. Yeah. So that shows you for a month, it costs $66 in electricity, $212 if you had a gasoline car that runs around 24 miles per gallon. But let me tell you, the Tesla's a rocket ship. You know, you'd have to have 1,000 horsepower engine in your car to keep up with a Tesla, because the motors are so strong on the electricity. 0 to 60 is like rocket. All right, so let's look at the year. So for the last 12 months, we've had the car for about a year and a half. It would have cost $1,800 in gas, but nope, it only cost us $464 in electricity. So we saved $1,358. That's so when we're halfway through the lease, that's $2,600. Just the savings and the electric. I mean, that's a lot of money. It's it's a couple hundred a month. So a $600 lease becomes a $400 lease real quick when you factor in that you're not spending that extra $200 a month for gasoline. That's why electric is, I mean, it was, I must say, it was, this is our second Tesla, meaning we've been driving these for like 6.5 years, or 4.5 years, sorry. 3-year lease, then we got another car, another 3-year lease. And you have to get used to the electric thing and then not the gas thing. And there's plenty of electric places to charge. You just don't have to worry about that. Every 10 or 20 miles is a Tesla charger, and they're fast. You get enough range pumped into the car within around a 15-minute plug-in. You want to fill it to the top. It takes 25 minutes. But if you want to put enough juice in there so you can go an extra, 170 miles, it's 18 minutes. So you plug your car in, you go relieve yourself, get yourself a Diet Coke, and then get back to the car. That's 18 minutes. I mean, what the heck? How fast can you pee? You gotta, relieve yourself, you wash your hands, you comb your hair, you look at your phone, you answer a couple of text messages, you're standing online to get your Coke on ice or coffee or whatever. It's 20 minutes later, you come back to the car, you got 200 miles worth of range in the car. And you just unplug it. It automatically bills your debit card. You don't have to swipe. You don't need to even touch your debit card or credit card, because your account information is already locked in the computer of the car. It automatically whacks that account for each monthly lease payment. You don't have to remember. It does it for you. You provide that information when you order the car. Tell us your credit card number or your debit card number or your bank account number. How are you going to pay your lease? That's all. Just put it in there. And that's as simple as that. So we got 9,827 miles. You can see the odometer right there. Tells you what software. That's another thing why you want to have this connectivity. Why they have the cell system. Because you can automatically download software updates about every 2 or 3 weeks. Yep. All right. Go back to the photo album. We've been chatting here for 1 hour and 26 minutes. It's August 11th. It's two. You see the clock up there? It's 28 minutes after 2. Let's see where Marilyn is. Did she get back from her nail? She was getting her nails done. Let's see where Marilyn is. Yep, Boca Nails. Can you believe it? She's 500 feet away. We're in one building, she's in another building. Right downtown Boca Raton. Yep. Where's Jimmy? I should be the blue dot. You see the blue dot right there? Right, I'm sitting there. And Marilyn is, it says Boca Nails. She may be walking back by now. All right, so let's take a look at the weather quickly, since we have your attention. It's loading up the weather. You can see the purple. Let's go full screen on the weather, just for the heck of it. There we go. This is live.
It's 2:30.
So you can see the cloud cover. Myrtle Beach is getting some serious rain. So we're gonna, see right here? This is trouble. Yep. This is projected. So here's where it is right now. I'm going to touch this. Ooh, it's a named tropical storm already. It's Tropical Storm Erin. Yep. 46 mile an hour sustained winds. Gusts to 58. Is heading west. Actually, west, southwest. Because, let's see, west, due west. And you can see the ground pressure is 1,000 millibars. So it's the beginning. Ooh. So here, let's see if there's cyclonic motion. There is. You can see it's counterclockwise wind direction. You can see it right there. I got the crosshairs right at the center of rotation. And then you can see how the storm is moving. It's moving inside the cone of certainty. The weather people call it the cone of uncertainty. I call it the cone of certainty. Because it's got to hit somewhere where that cone is. 90% of the time, it's right in that cone. Now the question is, you see, if we back that, you see, so that's heading right at us at the moment. But it's, 8:14, 8:15, 8:16. So in 5 days, it's going to be right here, and it should be a Category 3 storm. I told my friends that there was something cooking out there. And there it is. Yep. Now, where it's gonna, but remember, it could trail on the bottom end of that cone, or it can be right. It's too soon to tell, obviously. But when we get to let's see, 8:16, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is Saturday. So Saturday, at noon, it should be right where that number 3 is. Yep. It's going to be a Category 2 storm on Friday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So, we got a week to go hide. No! Get me out of here. Yep. So as of right now, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of I'll save this little bugger and see where we're at a couple of days from now. So according to this, it's gonna go west and then west southwest, and it's gonna go back up west. So when it turns into a Category 1 storm, it's gonna start to come up a little bit, as opposed to going underneath Cuba or going right over Cuba. It's gonna go right over us. Right now, it looks like a direct hit, but you can't tell. It's too far out. But when it gets to Thursday, we'll know whether it's, whether it's time to, make your preparation, which, you just, buy a couple of bags of ice and put it in a cooler. That's about all we can do. We're in a high rise. We ain't going anywhere. I have a little tiny, don't tell anybody, I have a little tiny Honda generator. It's a 2,000 watt Honda generator that I converted to run on propane. So I can screw on a little propane cylinder and give myself some electricity to run my TV and my cable box. Now it's going to be a little toasty in here. The last time we had a hurricane that, kind of knocked out the power, we went and stayed in a hotel next door. Yeah. And I got the extension cords and everything. I can put that little generator outside on the patio and close up the doors so there'd be no carbon monoxide. But it's not gasoline, it's propane. So it burns very clean. But anyway, you close your windows and close your sliding glass doors. Put that generator on a balcony. No one can hear it. It's like 54 decibels of sound, which is like a quiet conversation in the world of decibels of sound. All right. Anyway, so there's the weather. I wanted to show you that. It's going to be, watch out. And we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully in the morning. Didn't feel well this morning, so that's why we had an afternoon. So it's either going to be a nooner tomorrow, or it's going to be a 9 a.m., 9:05. Let's plan on 9:05, okay? See if I can do that. Meantime, you have a great day.